Welcome back, ladies and gentlemen. Today we are interviewing Board President Carl Triola. Welcome, Carl.
Thank you, George.
for joining me today. Carl, can you give us a little bit of a biography on you? What brought you to Seven Lakes? How long ago did you come here? What did you do before coming here?
Yeah, very interesting. I was teaching at a small liberal arts college, Mercyhurst College. It's now Mercyhurst University. I had retired at 65, and then the president of the college asked me to coach softball. And so, like a fool, I said yes. But the best thing that ever happened, that's how I found Seven Lakes, because we came down here for spring training. And the first year we were down here, I just fell in love with the place, with Fort Myers. And I wanted to buy a unit right away, and I called my wife, she wasn't with me, and I said, I'm gonna buy a condo down here in Florida. And she said, not without me. So we had to wait a year. So the next year she came down with me, and I looked and looked, I couldn't find anything. And then one of my senior softball players had already gotten a job here at Fort Myers school system. And the day before we were to leave, her father said, hey, did you ever find a place? And I said, no. And he said, well, I'll tell you what, there's a great place across from Bell Towers. He said, call Seven Lakes, you need to get over there. So I came over, couldn't see Tom Heindel or anybody from real estate that day, but Tom said, if you can get in here. I said, I'm leaving the next day at noon or 1 o'clock. I said, so I can get there early. He said, well, you can come at 8 o'clock. He said, I'll see you. So anyway, at 8 o'clock I come over. We looked at 3 units. I walked through a unit in building 21A 408, and I just saw the beautiful view, and I said, this is it. And we bought the unit, and that's how I found Seven Lakes, and it's been the best thing that's ever happened to me.
Excellent. How long ago was that? What
that was 18 years ago. It'll be 18 years in April.
2003?
2004. 2004. Yeah. Yeah. And it's really been the best time of my life for my wife and I.
Excellent.
So,
what would you say your favorite thing about Seven Lakes is? Your favorite thing about living here?
the favorite thing about living here really are the people. The amenities are great, but when you get old, you need the social contact. And, you know, here you're afforded that opportunity. There's a lot of wonderful people here, and we learned that right away. The nice parties we used to have in 21A every Thursday and get together with people. So for me, it's really the people that live here.
What's your favorite amenity, personally? Your personal?
Ah, boy, that's a tough one. But I'd have to say the favorite amenity is golf. My wife had never golfed before in her life. I tried to get her to golf, and she never wanted to. And we came down here, and a friend of hers that she met down here convinced her to take a lesson with Mike Cook, and she did. And now I can't get her off the golf course.
Oh, well, good. And I've actually seen her out there. Is she part of the ladies groups?
Yes, yeah. She plays in the women's 18-hole league.
So from someone who never played to
yeah, in fact,
awesome.
one year I think she won her third flight in the women's 18-hole league, and she's a much better golfer than I am now.
Scary how that happens.
Yeah.
So what would you say your favorite memory of Seven Lakes?
Oh boy, I got a couple of them. The first one is Irma. As you know, that was a difficult time for all of us here at Seven Lakes. But I've never seen a community come together the way this community came together during Irma. I mean, it was a teamwork by the staff, by the board, and by everyone in the community. I mean, people were doing just amazing things to make sure that their neighbors were comfortable and had what they needed. You know, we made sandwiches and we were charging a nominal $3, but we said, if you don't have it, that's fine. Well, people were coming in and donating $30, $40 and saying, you know, use this to help out. And then people were coming in from the high rises because there was no elevator service,
Right.
getting 8, 10 sandwiches to bring to those people who couldn't get down. And so it was looking out for your neighbor. So that's you know, one of the things. The other thing is really this last year. I'll never forget April the 7th, I believe it was, or April the 9th, when Sean died. I was like getting hit in the stomach with a solid right hook. You just don't expect somebody at his age to pass. And things had been going well, and it was tough. And I never thought, I was 84 at the time. I've since turned 85. I never thought about going into management. Again, I spent my whole life in management, but for 3.5 months to know that you had the responsibility of trying to keep things running, and I didn't know that I had the energy, but I found that it really was the staff that gave me the energy, because all of you folks really picked up a notch. I thought we never missed a beat.
I don't think we did.
No,
I agree.
no amenity was shut down. Nothing was ever canceled. We kept going on with every project we started. And so that's a memory I'll take with me and I'm most proud of. And it's because of the staff and the board. And I'm sure I made some mistakes, but it's a highlight of my management career. I started out in my management career at a very young age. I had just gotten out of graduate school, and it was a small agency, and then I worked my way up and moved around a little bit to an agency. I had over 200, a staff of 200 people. I was the director of the Office of Children and Youth in Erie County in Pennsylvania, which was at that time the 3rd largest county in the state. And we had, the job was, a 24-hour-a-day, 7 days a week job, because I was always on call. We were dealing with abused and neglected kids. I had a detention center under me, juvenile detention center under me. I had 3 group homes, daycare centers. It was a massive operation. And so that's where I really cut my teeth in management. But at some point, I decided, I got burned out. And, I guess you know how that is.
No comment.
Yeah. But anyway, so I left and I went to, had a good offer to teach at a small liberal arts college, and I did that for 25 years plus. And that was a piece of cake compared to my other job. And I never thought I wanted to retire until I came down here to Fort Myers. And then I never knew I wanted to work again. So you've been extremely active over the years. You want to rattle off your list of titles? I know you were chairman of the... Yeah, I've served on a number of committees. I served on the tea room committee when we built the new tea room. It was a late addition to that committee. I'd also been a condo rep in 21A and condo 48 for a total of probably, with both of them, I'd say maybe 10 years, 11 years. And I've been on the board for 8 years. And when I look over those 8 years, again, something I'm proud of is the teamwork. It was the we in getting things done. I mean, you've been here that long, almost, I think.
No, longer.
Longer than that. So you know what we did. We went through, first of all, we went through the renovation of this building and moving moving some of the amenities around from a smaller recreation, or
2015, I think.
was that 20?
Yeah.
Whatever, you know, when we remodeled this building, we moved the physical fitness room around, the lapidary, did all that upgrading and remodeling. And then we had, after that, we had the tea room. And I was on the board from the beginning of all of those, or at least with the maintenance part. I think that was my first year on the board. And then when you look at after the tea room, the really big projects were the golf course, the roads, and we had 2 tennis courts that were, so instead of we just had 4, we increased it to having 6, and now we have those beautiful tennis courts, and I mean, that's phenomenal. So, and none of this could have been accomplished without, you know, teamwork. And it's a we, it's not an I. It takes the staff, it takes the community, and I'm not talking just about the board of directors, because this, let me diverge a little bit, hopefully I won't get off track, but if you look back, you have pioneers like Dick Krieger, Don Janke, Carol Comp, and then you start out with my time on the board with Bill Story, and then you just go right through Rich Brown, Al Washburn, myself, and all the other people that are on the board now. And it was never an I kind of thing. It was always a we. And if you did that with the staff and the community, plus, and you know better than anyone, if we didn't have volunteers here at Seven Lakes, we couldn't run this place. And so the many people, all of these major projects, I could spend a half hour going over the names of the people who were instrumental. I just give you, a couple of examples. Jim Jones with the golf course, and that was a lot of work started before that with the golf committee, starting with Jim Dillman many years back. And then you go into the tennis area, and you've got Steve Daly and that tennis committee. So it just takes teamwork and a group of people wanting to get things done.
Not to single out all the assets, but what would, in your opinion, be the most valuable asset at Seven Lakes?
Well, there are 2 of them, but the primary one is the golf course. And then tennis. I don't think there's anywhere. And my wife and I, there were a couple of times we thought about leaving Seven Lakes because I didn't think the will was there to make some changes that we needed to make to maintain what we had. Mm-hmm. And fortunately that didn't come about because I don't think I'd ever found a place like this. So I mean, you can't play golf as economical as we can play. You can't play tennis as economical. And then when you add the safety and security, and you add all of the other amenities, I mean, those Thursday socials, that has just been a boom. I mean, I don't know how you did it really and stay in budget. No. I mean,
you gotta be good at what you do.
but I mean, it's those kind of things, that were important.
So 8 years on the board, this is your last year. I was going to ask what your biggest sense of accomplishment was, but I guess that's kind of the same as the golf course. What do you think, as you speculate after you step down from the board, what do you see for the future of the Seven Lakes?
I think that, the demographic is changing a little bit. One of the most disappointing things, and I haven't mentioned that, was the fact that we weren't able to have a 50-year celebration. There's so much to celebrate over those 50 years. So when you look forward, what's the next 50 years going to be like? Well, obviously technology's changing. Costs go up, the buildings are, you know, they're not getting any younger, if I can use that term. I mean, these are old
That's a
buildings.
safe one.
That's right, yeah. We live in buildings that are 50 years old now for the most part. And so you have to take care of them. And, you know, this budget year was, you know, a very difficult one for this board. Not that other budgets haven't been. You've been part of them for as long as you've been, you know, here, I think, for the
11
most
years.
part. Yeah, 11 years. So, you know how difficult it is to try to keep costs down. And this year, it was even more difficult because I think ultimately we may end up, and I hope people don't hold me to this, but I think ultimately we could end up at around $58, $59 increase just for the association reserves and the association operating budgets. But when you look at that, $40 of that amount are things beyond our control.
Yeah.
I mean, insurance has just gone out the roof. And so I think these expenses, they're gonna happen. And you have to take care of your buildings. And those are the condos, so the condos have to be responsible. But I think we've got enough really good potential leadership in this community. I think we've got an excellent staff. We've lost some key people, but you know, life goes on, and no organization, you know, should become dysfunctional because, you know, you don't have the leadership and the staff. So I think it's there. There'll always be issues. I don't care who comes and who goes. That doesn't change.
Well, Carl, I would like to thank you for all you've done for 7 weeks, on behalf of all the employees, if I may, and I'm sure the residents agree. Thank you for your time.
Well, thank you, and thanks to all the staff. As you know, you folks are great. So
Thank you very much.
Thank you very much, Jordan.
Take care. Thank you.